Thank you for having me. Thank you, Eric, for the very warm welcome. We're incredibly honored to be platinum sponsors for the Bio Protocol Hackathon. I think the DeSci mission and ethos is very near and dear to your heart. And at Solana, we're always looking for uh, very sustainable, meaningful impact driven by Web3 and crypto models. And so, just in the backdrop of what's going on in the broader macro context, I think it's now more important than ever to be funding a lot of these scientific efforts that are being overshadowed by a lot of the drama going on politically in the world. With all that being said, at a high level, wanted to share a little bit more from Solana, our focus on DeSci, and then tactically some of the resources that my colleague Jonas will introduce to talk a little bit more about building AI agents on Solana. And so, at a high level, where is Solana today? Solana is the world's most used blockchain. Um, you can see on the upper right corner in that graph, Solana processes more transactions than any other blockchain combined on any given day. By orders of magnitude, Solana is the green neon line you see up there. Uh, Interestingly, you also see daily active addresses, and this is kind of akin to user counts or fee payers using the blockchain. And although we're also leading in this metric, it's worth noting that we're not ahead by orders of magnitude compared to what we see in daily transactions. And that what really tells us is not only is it easy to use Solana, and there are a lot of users using it, users use it more often than any other blockchain. And so if I'm a single given user, I might use it 10 or 20 times per day because of some of the user experience advantages we'll touch on later on. But what this means for AI agents, which is the focus for this hackathon, is that previously we got a lot of maybe flagged that Solana is a bots driven chain, but in the new paradigm of AI agents, I think that's not really necessarily a bad thing. When you make it easy to transact on a blockchain, you can expect people to do more transactions relatively to other chains. Some of what makes this possible, one really unique aspect of Solana is what we call local fee markets. And so what this means is um, in traditional blockchains, sometimes when you're competing for the same block space, if there is a lot of activity driven by one particular project or some interesting opportunity, then fees go up. Gas and transaction fees scale because of this one thing affecting the entire market for fees. But in Solana, where you have local fee markets on the right side, even if there is a really interesting or hot DeFi arbitrage opportunity in one lane, and then a really popular NFT mint in another lane, if you're not competing for that same specific state, then your fee experience remains unchanged, and their users should not have their day-to-day impacted. And so all of this is super cool. And Solana, I could go all day talking about the really great things Solana has done. But what Solana probably is most known for um, is probably late December, early January, when meme coin mania was really taking over. And so you probably saw a lot of headlines around, Doge with, Farcoin, lots of other really interestingly named meme coins. And then you top it off, there is the Trump meme coin in January. And so that is kind of like what really drew a lot of retail to onboard onto Solana. I think there was a metric that week over week there were 500,000 new retail users being added to the blockchain, simply through via meme coins. You'll see a little more of the headlines touch on this in the bottom, but I think behind this, right, like past the simple notion that Solana is the meme coin chain, meme coins happened organically on Solana for a certain reason because the user experience was there, right? Like the onboarding via Phantom, the low gas fees, the fast finality speed, all these things combined for a user experience that made it very easy for meme coins to catch fire on Solana. But I think the really important piece to understand is, meme coins demonstrated this original notion of crypto financing, being able to attract a lot of attention and mind share, and somehow galvanizing that into capital, into liquidity, to pump some token into the stratosphere. But I think what encapsulates our vision is actually what Vitalik wrote in his essay, "What else could meme coins be?" And so society always needs to fund large-scale projects. Markets and institutions are the main ways we do that today. And in some cases, they work and they fail in others. And so, our ethos for DeSci is, um, what if we could use the attention, the capital, and the liquidity that we've seen meme coins being able to attract, but direct that towards more meaningful impact and towards more sustainable causes. And so, if we think about all the different ways that Solana has been successful in attracting retail users and user adoption, and kind of the liquidity moat that we've built, I think our mission at Solana Foundation is to drive that towards the use cases where people don't leave Solana with a bad taste in their mouth, where they're able to get behind impactful causes. And so that leads us to DeSci. And so these are some of the pretty tactical pain points that you see in TradSci, and that DeSci has shown, initial promises of solving. All this combined, right, again, with the backdrop of university labs not getting funding or having their grants frozen, with the backdrop of only 10% of drug development efforts actually making it to mass markets. I think we've seen a very inefficient traditional drug development process, and things are getting harder and not easier. And I think this is a more ideal time, more than ever, to find out the ways that the DeSci model can lead to better outcomes for drug developments, better outcomes for health as well. And so we have a renewed focus on DeSci. We're going very hard into this vertical to demonstrate that Solana is open for business for DeSci. Two big events and initiatives we have coming up, both in New York. So if you're in the local area, heavily encourage you guys to check this out. On April 22nd, we'll be hosting the DeSci New York City community at Skyline. Skyline is the name for our New York City office in Lower Manhattan. This is a long-standing DeSci community that hosts a wonderful speaker series, and we're using this as a warm-up event to lead to Accelerate. So on May 20th, right, as a side event to our Accelerate conference, Accelerate for Solana is a conference focused on highlighting crypto innovation in America. And so we will have speakers from New York with 3 stages. The New York stage, which is all about finance and DeFi, the San Francisco stage about tech and products, and then the DC stage about policymaking. And so all these really combine to showcase how the US is putting crypto first. As a side event to that conference, we have the DeSci Science Fair. And so this is an all-day DeSci event showcasing some of the really cool DeSci projects building in Solana. We'll be assisted by our wonderful friends at Bio Protocol, along with some other cool projects spanning, BioDAOs, smart wearables, prediction markets, all the cool ways that Web3 is really innovating in science. To leave you guys with kind of a more tactical call to action, this is a resource where you'll find Jonas, who will give a brief overview shortly, giving a walkthrough on how to build AI agents on Solana.
Hello, everybody. Can you hear me? I think so, right? Jerry?
Yeah, I hear you. I think we're good.
Okay, cool. So yeah, I'm Jonas, also working for the Solana Foundation. I do developer relations. And yeah, since this is AI related, so we have a few resources that you can try out. If you scan this QR code here, you're gonna be forwarded to a guide that we wrote, which shows you like all the different things that have already been built for Solana using AI. So we have like integrations with large language models. And yeah, these can be combined with other things. So there's a thing called AI frameworks. There's, for example, ELIZA. And what this one does, it takes an LLM, so large language model, but it combines it together with like some actions that can be performed on the Solana blockchain and also other things. And also it combines it together with a database that can basically have memory. So one of the examples we have in this AI guide is just a chatbot where you can talk to, and it can, for example, mint your tokens, it can swap tokens, it can create NFTs and all kinds of things. And these actions are actually coming from a thing called the Solana Agent Kit. So how this works is this kit basically provides a bunch of functionality. And then the LLM is able to call these functionalities and then save the current state in a database. And like this, you can build all kind of cool things. So with ELIZA, for example, what you can build is you can build a Twitter bot, which is like tweeting something every few hours. And then whenever someone replies, it mints a token for him or something like this. So you can also, yeah, you can build all kinds of things with this. So hopefully you can like combine some AI agents with DeSci somehow. So yeah, I'm very excited about what you're gonna build, and I'm joined in the Telegram group. I'm gonna share a few resources there, and I'm happy to support you with everything that you need. There's also like some on-chain programs that you could write, but you don't necessarily need to write your own programs if you want to do something on Solana. You can just interact with many different APIs. You can just use JavaScript. There's a nice example in this AI guide as well, which is an agent which is able to purchase Amazon stuff for you. So there's yeah, all kinds of possibilities. I'm very excited about see what you're gonna build and happy to support you there. So yeah, I'm in the Discord under Jonas Hahn, and I just joined the Telegram group as well. So yeah, let me know what you're building, and yeah, very excited to see what you're gonna build. I think that's it from my side. Jerry, do you want to have a few words still, or otherwise I would just say let's go build.
That's it from my side too. Thank you for leaving it off on a very inspiration note. So please go check out the resource. The QR code is on that deck. And in addition, should questions come up, please tag us in the Discord. We're really excited to see what you guys build on Solana, and there's a ton of resourcing. So if you need anything, please let us know.
Yeah, and we also have an MCP server. So if you're like coding with AI, like in Cursor, for example, you can just use this MPC server, and it will be very helpful in programming anything on Solana. So it like checks all the docs and all the questions that have been asked before. So that one's very helpful. I'm gonna put all the links in the Telegram group now. So very nice meeting you all. Good luck.
Thank you all.
Thank you very much, guys. I will ask the group here for any questions while they're still on the call. Yeah, we have one from James.
Oh, we can't hear you. So if you could like repeat it in the microphone, maybe.
Hey, can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Yes. All right. Awesome. Are there any applications that you guys are particularly excited to see get built, or that you think Solana is particularly unique as an infrastructure architecture to be built as part of this hackathon?
Yeah, I could take this one. One really cool thing is, I think, in one of the prompts or recommendations would be a decentralized knowledge graph. I think one really cool thing about Solana is its composability. And so the ethos behind Solana is everything's single shared states, and people are writing to the same database or blockchain and updating as we go. We call this a multiplayer experience. And so being able to have this one kind of graph where a bunch of AI agents can autonomously update and reference will be really exciting for us, and a great kind of start to the infra on DeSci. I'm not really sure what use cases this could spawn, but another really unique thing about Solana is what we call compressed NFTs. And so in essence, it's a fraction of the cost to mint NFTs here, as would be on comparative blockchains. And we've seen many projects not outside of DeSci take advantage of this by shifting to more of an abundance mindset. So previously in blockchain, like, you're constantly constrained by I'm not going to mint this, or these assets will cost too much to transact because of the transaction fees, because of the high mint costs. But if you kind of threw that out the window and costs were no longer a thing, what kind of new engagement models would you be able to spawn because you're able to just mint NFTs for the hell of it, or have users generate their own NFTs, or in this case, AI agents generate their own NFTs as well. And so I think I'm really excited to see something cool come out of the fact that you could just mint a lot of these things at minimal costs.
Cool. And as a follow-up, could you give us an example of what one of those projects are that uses the compressed NFT architecture, so we can use it as a source of inspiration?
Yeah, I'm happy to share more resources. I'd say, like, like a lot of projects on Solana are using compressed NFTs. One of the most most famous ones would probably be I say Drip House. This is a consumer product platform, basically a collectibles platform, and so people can collect these NFTs at no cost. And many projects go on to Drip as a way to reach a new audience, to collect IP, to collect art, etc. And so because they can collect this for essentially no cost, it's a really cool distribution channel, and products are able to see what wallets have collected their free NFT, and then introduce a call to action that gives this wallet something of value in their actual game, or in their actual app. And we've seen like really high conversion rates using Drip House as a top of funnel UA, user acquisition platform, to bring people from Drip into your native app, your native project. And when they come here, right, it feels like a warm hug because you've given them something of value that doesn't necessarily cost anything, right? But it's worth something in whatever experience you've created.
All right, guys, I think that's all the questions. So again, one more round of applause for the Solana team. Thank you.
Thank you all.